So, a couple weeks ago, I made a video talking about music and games in general and why the music of Doom 2016 in particular is so good. And it kinda exploded, becoming the most watched video on our channel by far and more than doubling our number of subscribers. All of which I really appreciate. Seriously, I never would have guessed that a weird little video about something so esoteric would become so popular. And I thank you all for that. However, a lot of commenters seem to be under the impression that I forgot certain old Doom songs that are referenced in new Doom soundtrack. Well, I didn't forget, it just wasn't relevant to the video. But the interesting thing about this is that as I tried looking it up, I found that nobody's actually gone through and made a complete list of where in Doom 2016 soundtrack it references songs from Dooms 1, 2, and 3. And that seemed like something people would be really interested in. So I've spent the last 2 weeks going through and finding every single sample I could. Most of these I found on my own, some I found with the help of YouTube commenters and a few other sources, but I do want to say that I cannot promise this list is 100% complete. Mick Gordon is so sneaky and likes putting things in so subtly that I seem to find new things every time I listen through the OST, and it's entirely possible I missed some, so please feel free to comment with anything I missed or forgot while I was working on this project. My hope is that between this video and the comments section, we can create the most complete possible list for people who want to know where all the references are. And with that, let's get to it. I plan to keep talking to a minimum during this video, but I will interject in a few places with things I think need to be made note of. This next one's interesting because it uses melody lines from two old Doom songs. Some of you may not know that Doom 1's Mouth for War is actually already a cover of a Pantera song, also called Mouth for War. Okay, I want to say something about this next one real quick too. So again, a lot of you might not know this, but there's actually a fifth Doom game, which came between Doom 2 and Doom 3. It was called Doom 64, and as the name implies, it was exclusive to the Nintendo 64. Unlike every other game in the series, Doom 64 used ambient music, meaning it all sounded like this. Doom 2016's story makes some pretty clear references to Doom 64, so it makes sense that the music would as well, especially in the non-fight songs. They certainly sound similar. Here's some ambient music from Doom 2016. However, because there aren't clear melody lines in ambient music, it's very hard to tell whether or not Gordon was actually specifically sampling songs from Doom 64, except in a few cases, like the song I'm about to play for you. Suffice to say, it's certainly clear that he was very heavily inspired by the work of Aubrey Hodges, with the two soundtracks using very similar styles, whether he was referencing or not. This next song is the song that plays when you fight the Cyber Demon in Doom 4. It samples a song from when you fight the Cyber Demon in Doom 1. That's a nice, if kind of obvious touch, but it's also going to be important for later, so remember it. Okay, now we get to the last song, and I had a lot of trouble with this. See, because the Cyber Demon song from Doom 2016 samples the Cyber Demon song from Doom 1, I assume the Spider Mastermind song from Doom 2016 sampled the Spider Mastermind song from Doom 1, but I just couldn't find the connection. The bass lines are kinda similar. But since Mastermind from Doom 2016 is really just a distorted version of the song BFG Division, you'd think if anything it would be sampling Waltz of the Demons like that song does. So the bass line wasn't the answer, and then I'm trying to find the connection, and then I listen to the end of the song and I hear this note. Which is the last note of the song proper. It happens around 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And it sounds a little odd, doesn't it? It sounds like it's been altered in some way. Well, it turns out if you reverse it, you get this. Which sounds an awful lot like this. Yep, the last note of the Spider Mastermind song from Doom 4 is the same as the first note of the Spider Mastermind song from Doom 1, backwards, and discovering that is simultaneously the coolest and saddest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked it, make sure to do all the things you do on YouTube videos, like, comment, subscribe, start a political flame war in the comments. If you like my work, you can find me at Last Space Marine on Twitter, or you can find me at HeyPoorPlayer.com, the website that sponsors this channel. There you'll find news, reviews, and all the video game stuff you like. I write reviews there. That's sort of my thing, but there's a lot of great content. You can also check out the Hey Poor podcast there, which I have become the host of. So if you like my analysis of video games and video game music, and you'd like to hear me talk about video games for a much longer hour to 2 hour stretch, that's where you can do that. And when I'm not at either of those two places, I'm here on the HeyPoorPlayer YouTube channel, where I plan to do a lot of features and Let's Plays and stuff. And if there's something you'd like to see me do next, Doom-related, music-related, just video game-related in general, feel free to let me know. I do read all of the comments. It's the only way I can feel anything anymore. And again, just thank you for listening and watching, and have a great day.